lead opera singer at the Theatre Royal had chosen Lord Bennet as her new protector, Cressy offered. Last night, Lady Bennet tossed a cup of mulled wine at his head.
That's more like it, the Duke said, smiling. Wouldn't be the revelry without scandal.
There were 7 days to go in the Duke's annual Christmas festivity, if His Grace's death didn't cut the party short. Cressy was fairly certain that her father would refuse to accompany the Grim Reaper until the last carriage had rolled away.
The revelry must go on, the Duke said, as if he heard her thought. We've only missed the 1 year, when your mother passed. We must have at least another decade. Damn it, Cressy. He has to carry on my legacy.
He was the Duke's heir. The Duke of Greystoke and his wife had been blessed with 5 daughters, but no heir. A tragedy underscored by the death of his brother. The title and estate would devolve to his nephew, Valentine Snow, Viscount Derham. Valentine, or Val, to his family, was pleasant enough, although Cressy had to admit that she scarcely knew him. He dutifully attended the Christmas revelry on the express command of the Duke, but he eschewed the ballroom and closeted himself with a group of men as reclusive and rakish as he.
A few months ago, Val had the gall to tell me that he wouldn't carry on with the revelry,
the Duke barked. Cressy didn't think that Val could carry on. The truth was that the work of throwing the complicated series of parties and events that made up the annual revelry was hers. For more than a decade, she had created the invitation list and designed all the elaborate entertainments. Yet, much as she had enjoyed the creative license her father had given her, she wanted to do something else with her life. She longed for a house of her own, and someday a family, rather than an existence consumed by an annual party.
Changed his tune now, the Duke said, his voice triumphant.
How did you do that, father? Cressy asked.
I made him an offer he can't refuse.
Indeed? Cressy murmured, wondering if she should turn the evening's quartet into a trio. One violinist hadn't made an appearance.
I am giving him the Scottish estate,
her father announced, darting a glance at Cressy.
For foolishly sentimental reasons, he wants that estate. But I told him that he couldn't have it unless he swore to hold the revelry for the next decade.
Cressy straightened, and her heart gave a sickening thump. The list slid from her hands to the floor. The Scottish estate had long been promised as her dowry, or if she didn't marry, a place for her to live once the ducal estate passed out of her father's hands.
Pick that up, her father ordered. You're always dropping things.
Cressy's stomach clenched into a knot. She loved designing and running the enormous machinery of the revelry, but she didn't want it to be her life's work.
Why should you mind? Her father demanded. The revelry is my legacy, all I leave behind, since I had no sons.
He didn't meet her eyes, because he knew perfectly well how unfair he was being. I do mind, Cressy said hotly, bending over to grab the list.
I'll make Val promise to take care of you. He has to take care of you, because you're key to the whole thing.
I refuse to be that key, Cressy retorted, springing to her feet. You presuppose I will agree to continuing the work involved in the revelry, and I will not. You promised me Morley House years ago, father. Her father turned his head so their furious eyes finally met. Cressy held her ground, staring back at him. I want to marry and have a house of my own. Future Christmas parties I plan will be mine, not yours. To be absolutely clear, father, I refuse to live at Greystoke Manor, nor will I continue planning the revelry.
I require you to do so, the Duke growled, his thick eyebrows bristling. Cressy gritted her teeth. Apparently, her father wanted her to spend her entire life in the castle, growing grey and old, while hiring acrobats and arranging for the annual pantomime, watching other people kiss under the mistletoe.